for Dropbox. So like we can't just say like, okay, pull the entire directory tree out and show us all the folder. Like we have to keep looping. So we have to say like, all right, we're in folder 1. We're going to loop through and see if there are any more folders in there. And if there are more folders, we're going to put this in this list, and we're going to loop through those. So I did that with nested for loops. So I'll show you. So first, it's going to go through, we're going to feed it a path, and we're going to say, okay, here's the parent folder path. This is the original path we want to loop through, and go through and see if there are any folders in here. And if there are folders, add them to this folders list. After it's done that, we're gonna see whether we want to extract the metadata or not. That's an argument that we pass into the function. We say that we do want to extract the metadata, so we'll say true. And it's gonna look at this list of folders, and if it's not empty, it's going to go through everyone and iterate. So it's going to look into this list of folders, the parent folders, and it's going to check whether the entries are files or folders. So if it's a file, or if it's a folder, it's going to put it back in that list. But if it's a file, it's going to create all the metadata. So it's going to create a shared link to the file. It's going to get the name. It's going to get the extension. Here's where the OS comes in, where it's going to look at the string for the file name, and it's going to break it up by, it's going to be the file name period extension. So it's going to break that up and then get the extension. Path, the file size, the time it was uploaded, and the link. And these are all built-in. These are all built-in functions with the Dropbox module. So it just gathers the metadata through the module, and then it's gonna put all this information into a dictionary. Just as we're looping, it's gonna output the metadata, so you can see that it's working, and then it's gonna add the metadata to this this empty list here called data. So it's going to go through that, and then once it's done going through that original folder, it's going to remove the folder from the list. So this is how it's going to organically, it's going to dive into every single folder in the Dropbox, because otherwise it's not organic. So it's like, if I give it a path and I say, okay, loop through every folder in this path, it's going to stop. It's going to stop when there's no more folders in the original folder. But sometimes it's like you have a folder, and then there's a folder within a folder within a folder. So it's like, how do you, that changes. Like every folder has a different amount of folders and files. So my solution to that was so every time there's a folder, add it to the folder list, loop through it, and then remove it from the list. And as long as, and then when there is a new folder, add it to the list. And as long as this list isn't empty, it'll keep going through and keep pulling metadata out. I hope that makes sense. So that's what's happening. That's the parse folders function. That's how we're going to gather the metadata. So I'm going to define that. And now I'm just going to do a test parse. This is just going to go through this Dropbox, and it's going to start. It's going to start, I just want to show you. It's going to start going through, and it's going to look first at writing samples, blah, blah, blah. Okay, here's 2 files here. It's going to pull those the metadata on those files. It's going to go through these, and like I said, here's this file. Okay, so now there's a folder within a folder. So it's going to go into this original folder, the JavaScript, or whatever the programming resources, and it's going to see, oh, there's another folder in here. So it's going to add that to the empty list of folders, so that now it knows to go back and, okay, so now we're going to loop through this folder within a folder. So let's get that started. When you, the 2 arguments for this function are file path, and then do we want to extract metadata. So I passed in an empty list, and that means to just go back to the very original parent folder. So it's like just go through everything. It's saying just go through everything. If I wanted to go through a specific folder, I would just specify the path. So say it would be like example 2, and then we could specify, and we would say that would be the parent folder, and then it would just go through everything in there. But I just want to go through everything, so I'm going to do empty list, and I'm going to test parse, and it's outputting the names of the folders, and then when there's a file, it's pulling the metadata. So it's storing this in dictionaries. So here's the file. It's this file, extension path. Path is just where it is in the Dropbox. Size in gigabytes. This is in exponential notation. Time uploaded. And then a link. And then so every file will have a link to the Dropbox. So we can see this, and it goes, okay, so it's pulling this now. There are actually a lot of files in here. So I already did this. I already went through I already iterated through everything, and I created a pandas data frame. So pandas is nice because it automatically matches up columns. So basically this is outputting a list of dictionaries, and every dictionary has the same keys: name, extensions, path, size, and that's the common thing, the common thread in all these dictionaries, that they have the same keys. So pandas is smart, and it finds the same keys, and it puts everything in the same columns. So I already did this. It's still looping. It's just a lot of stuff in here. It's still looping. So I'm going to show you what I did before. Sorry. Dropbox extractor. And here it is here, and it puts it into a nice CSV file. So here are all the names of the files. Just want to get rid of that. So these are the keys from the dictionary. So it's going to give you the name of the file. It's going to give you the extension, the path, the size in gigabytes, the time uploaded, and then the individual links to the files. So this is good now. So in the situation that I was in, we needed to get all this information into CSV files so that we could then say, like, okay, like, here's what we have, and we're gonna take everything that's bigger than a gigabyte, and we're gonna move it onto a new server to free up space in the Dropbox. And you can just do that by just going into the pandas data frame and saying, okay, everything in the size column, everything that's above 1 gigabyte. That's how we did it. But there's other stuff too. You know, if you wanted to collect all the PNG files, you could. If you wanted to analyze the names of the files, you could. It's all here, and it's all in this nice data frame for you. One other thing is that when I created the data frame, some of the folders were empty, and they produced empty lists. So I just did drop NA. So that's a pandas function where it gets rid of empty values. So yeah, there it is for you. Try it out for yourself, and thanks for watching.